Your Honor, Lieutenant Governor, General Grant, Minister, Deputy Mayor, Council, members of Parliament, members of our law enforcement community, ladies and gentlemen, visitors, I can't help but think of what an inspiring honor it is to be here in the presence of all on this somber occasion. Inspiring to see our cadets, our guides, our members of student council who are here representing our youth and our future. And it's a poignant day, a loss of life to be remembered, those we never knew, and yet we feel the enormity, the sadness, the calamity of a century ago. For today marks the 100th anniversary of the sinking of RMS Titanic and the loss of 1,500 lives aboard. A disaster so shocking it reverberated literally around the globe, but no more so than here in Halifax in the province of Nova Scotia. Generation after generation, the Titanic disaster has been etched in the public imagination, the subject, song and story, documentaries, even a Hollywood blockbuster movie by a famous Canadian, James Cameron. And thank you, Mr. Pinson, for your words today. Poetry, inspiring. Over the decades, the Titanic has symbolized many things. For some, the hubris of humanity, it was mentioned earlier. This magnificent ship proved no match for the awesome forces of nature. For others, human courage and sacrifice in the face of terrible misfortune. And clearly, the disaster was monumentous, terrifying, and tragic, and touched the lives of so many here in this city, in this province. Built in Belfast and the pride of the White Star Line on a maiden voyage, state-of-the-art technology, a collection of people from many walks of life, and a unique set of circumstances that all resulted in the deaths of far too many souls far too soon in the icy Atlantic. And with the passage of time, we now know more about those victims. I couldn't help but be struck by the small boy who's here with us today, near the tomb of, until recently, an unnamed boy similar in age. A century after that terrible night, we now know the identity of that little boy. Thanks to modern forensic science, the shoes that were found in the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic belonged to Sidney Leslie Gordon, an infant of English descent. But one example of a life lost too soon and a promise unfulfilled, but at peace at last. And like Sidney's family, the sinking of the Titanic brought tragedy to hundreds of families and communities on both sides of the Atlantic. No Canadian province more affected than Nova Scotia, and no Canadian community more so than Halifax. Halifax then, as on other occasions, became a city of sorrow, but rose to the occasion, accommodating